Hello and welcome back to another update. It is your host Sweep Union, and in this one there is heavy fighting in the eastern section of the front line in the vicinity of Pokrovsk, where the Russians are attempting to advance on a wide front. The Ukrainians in turn continue infiltrating the Russian positions here along the first and second lines of defense in the Zaporizhia region in the southwest. Russians continued advances in the vicinity of Siversk in the western direction and in the northern section of the front line, expanding their cross-border operations. Starting out in the eastern section of the front line, the Russians managed to advance here along their positions west of Siversk, advancing along the forest lines and pushing up towards the next fortified positions in the vicinity of Kaliniki and advancing within the town itself, gaining a foothold within Kaliniki, gaining control of the forest lines to the south of it, and capturing the forest patch here to the south. What we're seeing right now during the months of January, February, and March, now in March, is that the weather conditions is still not stable enough for larger operations. So what we're seeing by both the Russians and the Ukrainians, mostly the Russians, the Ukrainians are going a bit overboard, is mainly using infantry, pushing through the forest lines and advancing out to the next location. This makes it very difficult for advances to take place rapidly or at a large scale. Instead, what we're seeing is that the Russians are steadily advancing small advances from one forest line to the next forest line, clearing it from Ukrainian soldiers and setting up their own positions within them to slowly advance through and reach the next position. This makes it difficult for the Russians to move from one settlement to another. The example here of the town of Ryzhnikivka into Kaliniki is a bit simpler because the Russians moving through the settlement, which is directly connected to additional buildings and forests that leads directly to the next settlement. This allows the Russians to move through from one to the other, slowly by advancing steadily through these forest lines. Similarly, the forest patch areas to the south. So a small and steady advance by the Russians, as we have seen throughout this month, with no larger advances. This is similar to the operations last year, where during the months of January, February, and March, the Russians did not make any significant advances. Rather, they continued steady advances at a similar pace, and the Ukrainians also managed to make several counterattacks during those months in the winter period. And this brings us to the advances in the southeast of the front line. The Ukrainians continue infiltrating the Russian positions here along the Yanchur and Haichur rivers, where they are attempting to advance in between the settlements. This is because the settlements themselves are difficult to hold on to because the Russians have drones targeting those locations. The Ukrainians instead have infantry moving through the forest lines, slowly advancing and infiltrating deeper and deeper in between the river lines and in between the settlements, where they then can advance towards these settlements one by one under the cover of their own drone fire and artillery fire, allowing them to push into the settlements. But this is a very difficult operation because there's no steady supply line and enemy vehicles are easy to detect in comparison to the infantry that can sneak through even the fields with the tall grass, as we've seen multiple examples of over the past years, where simply the terrain is good for sneaking through with infantry, but any vehicle is easily detected. This is why the Ukrainians have attempted to drop off infantry at settlements such as Novokhrivka, where they push all the way through to the settlement, dropped off infantry on the road and at the settlement itself, but they are unable to consolidate the positions within it because the Russians are also present within it. They are also present with the infantry in the fields and forests around it, and this makes it very difficult for the Ukrainians to consolidate the positions. What we're seeing is really the Ukrainians consolidating the positions to the north of the defensive line, where they managed to push through during the frozen period towards these fortifications and settlements. And when the ground dried up and became muddy, well, then the Ukrainians were having a difficult time moving beyond these settlements, and their counterattack mainly holds it, while the infiltration continued, where we're seeing the Ukrainians present within Stepovo, Kalinivske, and Novokolaivka, going deep within the Russian lines, but are unable to consolidate the positions, leaving it in a gray zone. And that is what these areas are as well. These are gray zones, simply colored this way because it's difficult to move the mapping around, as it is very tedious work. And we are seeing something similar in the north of Pokrovsk and in the west of the city, where the Russians are infiltrating in a very wide area from Udashna in the west all the way to Turetsky in the northeast, where the Russians are pushing through towards next settlements along the forest lines, trying to gain control over these positions around the city. The problem the Russians are facing is that they are mainly advancing through the forest lines. They have their infantry pushing through, the Ukrainians have their infantry defending these areas. Therefore, pushing through towards settlements is a difficult task because they would need a stronger force to push through the initial Ukrainian defenses. Well, this is difficult because the Russians cannot use the vehicles during this muddy period, which means that they have to wait until the weather improves before they're able to gain a foothold within these settlements such as Serhivka, Vasilivka, Novoalexandrivka, and so on this wide front. But Russians are clearing the roads up to these settlements by advancing along the forest lines, but not entering the settlements themselves. We're seeing example in Belitsky, where they are at the outskirts, clearing the outskirts of the city, but they have not yet managed to gain a proper foothold within the city, and this will likely take place once the weather improves. You will see multiple offensive operations by the Russians on this wide front, gaining a foothold within these different settlements and then fighting over them, as we've seen with Reshene, where advances will take place at a higher pace and deeper and more complicated operations than what we're currently seeing, which is mainly just pushing through this winter and spring period until the weather improves. And we've seen the exact same developments last year, where in the months of January, February, and March, there were less advances by both sides, although the Ukrainians generally advanced more during this period than the rest of the year, because the Russians have a difficult time advancing themselves, which allows the Ukrainians to launch their own operations, freeing up some of their forces during these periods of time. So the Russians in general will be advancing a lot more in the coming months, as we have seen in the previous years. That is the likely outcome. Therefore, the Ukrainians are taking advantage as much as possible during this period where they have forces freed up. As for the northern section of the front, the Russians managed to gain control of additional forest lines here along the border. We're also seeing that the cross-border operation is barely more than a kilometer deep, and that is because exactly that they are clearing these forest patches and forest lines, but they are unable to launch any larger operations. What they're doing is that they're clearing the way for operations to be launched along the main roads and highways, and clearing the minefields and border patrol positions, which will allow the Russians to launch larger operations here during the next coming months. You also have to keep in mind that here in the fourth year of this conflict, both the Russians and the Ukrainians are launching a lot of drones on a daily basis. They have made consecutive technological breakthroughs where constantly improving drones, the connection, the accuracy, the firepower, and all of that continuously happens throughout this conflict, where right now we're seeing that the Russians and the Ukrainians probably outnumber infantry with drones, having more drones than infantry, and that puts it in a situation where any soldier advancing will likely be facing a drone or two on average. And that's where it makes a lot of sense that there is this difficulty in advancing. However, in periods where there's a lot more operations concentrated on a wider front, well, it will be difficult to keep up the supply, and that is where the advances come in. But during these low intensity periods, it's very difficult to advance due to the high intensity of drone fire on a limited amount of assaults, where the advances mainly take place because of the lack of detection of these forces launching these operations. And that's going to be all for this update. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, check out my Patreon and YouTube membership for additional content. Thank you for watching and have a great day.